So when I've heard you speak and in your book, Read for the Heart, you share some eye-opening research on the state of reading today, the effect of media on children's minds, and so on. Can you just share some of those findings with us?
Yes, I think one of the first things I read was Dana Gioia's report. It was he did it through the National Endowment for the Arts, and he ended up titling it "Reading at Risk" because they found that as people's reading levels decreased and as they stopped reading, they were less involved in the arts, politics, or charity of any kind. And I think that that's because those are idea-driven activities. And so that was just that whole idea of, if you haven't read books, if you don't have great ideas in your mind, you're not going to be motivated to change culture, to interact with society. But then I started just reading more. I read an article, a study done by a researcher even as early as the 60s, when he was researching what TV does for the brain versus what reading does for the brain, and that TV literally puts the left rational side of your brain to sleep, that it makes it almost inactive, but you are still retaining the images and emotions of what you see on the screen. Reading, on the other hand, it's like an acrobatic circus. When you read a book, your mind is working on, it's hearing the sounds, it's seeing the letters, it's putting it all together to create a picture in your mind, and then it's working to decide whether it's the idea presented as something you'll accept or reject. And just the many levels of what reading does to the brain of a child is, they said it stimulates the nerves and just causes this great growth to happen. And then also researchers are starting to find that what they call a literacy-rich home environment, which is a home where there are conversations and books read aloud, conversations happening, and the child is reading books, that is one of the single most important factors for a child to be able to excel in any area of education, including the math and sciences. And so just, I think a lot of that research was eye-opening to me, that really having a good vocabulary, children having stories and books in the home and being read aloud to them, is one of the most important things you can do in their early formation.